Okie dokie, I did it. Hi guys. I didn't have a chance to. Hey. So we are live. I am here. Welcome, chat. Welcome, friends. This is the second episode of BloqTalk. Let me know if the audio is a little bit better tonight. I did adjust some things. Hey, Electro. Hey, Razzie. Hey, Steven. Hey, Claire. Jewis. Lots of people showing up in chat. Tonky. How does audio sound, chat? Better today. Cosmos is here. Team Gravity. Alright. Well, we were a little quieter. We were a little quiet last time. So today has been actually super awesome. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there is a brand new, brand spanking new on the Mod Manager anniversary campaign that was released. And we are here today to talk with some people that helped work on that and make that a reality. It's really cool. You can unlock all sorts of stuff, platforms and sabers. There's a bunch of new custom maps. So we've got some of the mappers here with us tonight. And then I'm also here with my co-host, Clouder. You guys all want to say hello? Hi.
Hello, Clouder.
Hi.
So we're here with Raynor was supposed to be here, but I think he overslept. But we're here with monkeymanboy, who is a modder on the project. Bennydabeast, who is going to be here every week with us from now on, I have decided.
Set in stone.
Exactly. Joetastic is
Whether
here.
he wants it or not.
Yes. I will force him on for some reason or other. We also have Skyler, who I believe was the mastermind who spearheaded a lot of this project, so I'm really excited to talk to you. And then Joetastic, the mapper extraordinaire.
I'm excited to hear from Joetastic.
Uh-huh. So we want to start off with just kind of going around and getting to know everybody. So we'll start with Benny. I know you introduced yourself last time, but just give the guys, since you're a veteran at this, give the other guys an idea of how to do it. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you like to do. Of course, whatever you feel comfortable telling us and chat.
Cool, yeah. I am Bennydabeast. I am from LA. I like making maps. And in my spare time, I like to go swing dancing.
Very cool. What about you, Joetastic? Everybody has wondered what it is that you do that you have so much time to map.
Okay, I'm Joetastic. I'm from Singapore. I'm also a mapper, and I also enjoy making maps. For my other hobbies, I do in my pastime. I do mountain biking and scuba diving.
Oh, very cool.
Ooh.
I've always wanted to learn how to scuba dive.
Yeah, it's quite a fun hobby. Fun fact about scuba diving, I actually got into it because of an anime. It looked really cool inside of it, so that's kind of how.
Wait,
I
what
got into
anime?
scuba
Tell us.
diving. Grand Blue. It's a comedy
Yeah.
anime. It's supposed to be about diving, but like only 10% of the anime is about diving. But it really got me intrigued, so that's how I got into the hobby.
Dude.
Yeah, Chad is saying Grand Blue is hilarious.
Yeah, Grand Blue is hilarious. They have like a bunch of alcohol jokes and yeah.
And we'll just go down, Clouder. You can, for those that don't know you, go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit.
Hello, I'm Clouder. I do stuff in the Beat Saber modding group and Score Saber, and I draw in my free time, and that's it.
And you're in school, right? You're a student.
Oh yeah, I am a student.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Clouder Pog, agreed. And then we also have monkeymanboy. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm a modder, and I just do a lot of programming in my free time, and yeah, it's pretty much most of my time spent programming.
I feel like I've seen you typing pretty much all night working on this. I feel like the last 24 hours was very stressful for your job in particular with the project.
Yeah, I got some last minute bugs popping up.
Oh my goodness. And then last but not least, Skyler. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Alright, I go by Skyler Wallace. That's right, first and last name. Just letting everybody know who I am. I live in the United States. I like a lot of stuff, kind of a jack of all trades kind of guy. I like computer stuff. That's what my degree's for, computer engineering, computer science. Also like video games, of course. I'm up for Beat Saber. Not really for myself, but more for I really like to show off VR to my friends. I just love to see people when they see VR for the first time, and when they get to play their favorite song on Beat Saber, really sells it for them. Also, like to do stuff like woodworking. We got a couple other hobbies. That's about it.
Dude, I agree. I've had a couple of VR parties at my house where I will just invite people from work just to see them like get in. And I don't know which I like more, like playing Beat Saber myself or like seeing somebody get into VR for the first time. Not just Beat Saber, that's a really big one though. It's just like the watching them step in to virtual reality and then just the, whoa, you know what I mean? Like when they first realize that they're like in another world, and when they take the headset off even and they look around and they don't, you know what I mean? Like they have lost where they are in the room, and just like that total immersion, it makes me super happy.
The Oculus Stream Deck demo really sells it for a lot of people.
Yeah, I have a lot of military friends, and they always like I'll put them in Beat Saber and they'll play like one song, and then I put them in Pavlov and then they're gone, and I'm like, okay. And then all the people from my pharmacy work, they all are addicted to Beat Saber within like 10 minutes. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the anniversary campaign release. Whose idea was that? Was it a accumulation of ideas? Who kind of thought that up? Where did this come from?
It wasn't me.
No, totally him.
I feel like, wasn't it Skyler? It was Skyler, right?
Wasn't me.
Trying to hide his genius, I see.
I have been watching this guy in Discord. I just got added onto this, but he has been coordinating and making plans. And how long ago did this start? When did you guys start? Thanks so much, Faith. When did you guys start planning this?
I think it happened March 16th. Basically, I just saw the Beat Saber update and I saw the song packs and I was like, why do we not have the option to add our own packs down here? And I was like, you know what? I'd really like to see like a collection of songs, for my friends to play when they play Beat Saber, because every time they play Beat Saber, it's always, the 16 songs that come with the game, right? And those are those songs that they play because it's got all the difficulties. And so I thought, why don't I make my own stuff? Maybe we can get like a more broad selection of electronic music, put it in the game for all these people to play. And I just started contacting a couple people. I think the first person I talked to was Sting Me, and then after that we got a couple other mappers on. We got Faf. We didn't get Benny until like way late in. We got Heisenberg on pretty early as well.
Yeah. So I'll let chat know, because it was quite a few mappers that were involved in this. There was Skyler, Great Yazer, Sting Me, who wasn't able to be here tonight, but he did give me a really sweet message that I'm going to be sharing with you guys later, just kind of about what it was like for him working on the collab, or working on the campaign. So Sting Me, Joetastic, Heisenberg, Ruckus, Downy Cat, Fafurian, Bennydabeast, Baxter. I think I hit everybody there. Lots and lots and lots of people. And then that doesn't count the modders like Monkey and the modelers and the lighters. We had modelers and lighters and testers that were all kind of involved in it. So it was quite a few people that helped make this a reality. Heisenberg's in chat there. I miss you, Heisenberg. He says it's 100% Skyler's fault. So if anything's broken, that's also your fault.
Look, I don't know what I did, but he likes to blame me for like everything.
Do you want to jump in, Heisenberg? If you're home, come join us. I didn't get a picture of you, but I will add it to the overlay if you want to send me one. You can hop in our Discord. Yeah, come talk to us. You can join any of this. I'll send you an invite. So while I'm doing that, what was it like working with so many other mappers? We could just start with Skyler and then Benny and then Joe and Monkey. What was it like working with all these people? Did you find it challenging in any way? Were there any positives?
I really enjoyed working with a lot of the mappers. I do have like my own core style, I guess you could say. The thing I focus for more than anything is really readability, but I like to borrow a lot of elements from a lot of mappers because I admire the work that they do. Like, I was playing Benny's Go Bang map one day, and I was like, I gotta start incorporating these like those big down ups that he does in the maps that go from side to side. I decided to start putting those in, and Heisen, so I almost called him Heisenbaum.
I mean, accurate.
So I've been trying to take the bomb crown from him recently. If you noticed, he has the only map in the entire campaign with no bomb.
So wait, was that your map that was like only hit 2 bombs that I got stuck on? And I was like, is this Heisenberg? Was that you? Who did that?
So the one that you were talking about was actually Benny's map. but the one that you played later on where you can't hit the bombs
Was his? You cut out just right then.
when you were streaming earlier and you were talking about that map.
Where you couldn't,
the
where I couldn't
one
hit
that you
them.
were
Yeah.
asking, yeah. Well, actually, that was mine, but you were talking about another one too earlier. You were playing one of Benny.
And I blamed Heisenberg. See, you have a very, his reputation precedes him with the bombs. I didn't see if he was coming in. Let's see. Keep an eye on that for me if you can, guys.
Roger.
Yep. Okay.
Alrighty, so what about you, Joetastic? What was it like for you working with a bunch of other mappers?
Well, for only 2 of the maps I worked on it alone, but for one of it I worked with Sting Me, cause for animals I couldn't really make it any harder than expert, but he was able to make it slightly harder for me. So yeah.
Did you find that did you have any struggles with working with other people, with them wanting it to be like different difficulties, or was it easy? Did you learn stuff?
I did learn a bit from seeing like what other mappers have done. But it wasn't that hard to work with him on it because he's working on just one difficulty while I work on like everything else alone. Yeah.
So you did all the work. Is that
Uh,
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I did all 4 difficulties and lights. Yeah, he did one extra difficulty for me. So yeah, I
But that's
guess-
easy for you, right? Because you're like the power mapper, where it's Heisenbaum and then we have Joetastic, the power mapper.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
guess
fair
so.
when Joe gets 10 people.
Can you imagine if there were 10 Joes?
It's a secret
Good
ring.
God.
Beat Saber would be taken over.
You'd never get noticed on the
5
front.
maps a day.
We'd have every song ever mapped. It'd be great.
Every classical song, nobody could complain that it was only weeb songs. We'd have literally every song on the planet mapped in Beat Saber in about a week, I think, if there was 10 Joes.
I got a fun fact about Joe.
Share.
So
Oh, you do?
he has the latest created Beat Saber profile out of all of the mappers in the entire group, but he has the most maps.
Wow, that's actually really cool. When did you make your Beat Saber profile? Like, how long have you been mapping for then, Joe?
I've been mapping for 6 to 7 months now, but I think I created my Beat Saber profile only 4 months ago.
Okay. And a lot of the mappers that were in this project are like really OG, have been around from the start, right?
Yeah, so like I'm still quite sort of new into mapping, I guess.
So I don't know if you can count yourself as new if you have 200 plus maps out. I mean, maybe if you're just going by duration, but I feel like experience and, you know what I mean, like the hours that you put in, you've definitely caught up to a lot of the OG mappers.
Probably, but I still feel like I can improve my mapping. After seeing like other people's maps, I feel like I can still improve. Yeah.
Alrighty, what about you, Benny? What was it like working with everybody on this project?
I work alone.
Do it.
Yeah, no, I think I did all my stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you still had to, like, there were still deadlines that you guys have to keep to. You're still updating progress. People are still looking over your maps. There's definitely aspects to working in a team aside from just, like, laying down maps with a partner. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Did they make it easy for you? Was Skyler
It was
a good
It
boss?
was a good boss. Yeah, it was pretty painless. It was they let me sneak in maybe a month and a half ago or something, and I just got to mapping. I was like, yeah, you guys are what? You're doing this without me? No. And I jumped right in there, but yeah, it was painless. I'd say it was all well thought out. Skylar had everything. Like, here's our spreadsheet. Put your song in there. Put your like percentage of how much of it you've finished. And I just kept up with it, and yeah, finished out 3 maps. I got lucky with my last map. I finished it 2 days ago.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, the deadline seemed really, really tight. I was freaking out a little bit for you.
Yeah, Benny just kind of snuck that map up in there, and then I had to redo the whole.
Sorry. the song just hit me, and like when it hits you, you just gotta map it.
It was a good choice. I really liked the song.
When inspiration strikes. What about you, Monkey? What was it like modding in such a large
Well-
group with all this stuff going on? Like what was the challenge in what exactly teach us? I know a lot about mapping, but I don't really know a lot about like coding and
Well,
it scary?
for me, it was really interesting because when I didn't join until like maybe like 2 weeks ago, so most of the maps were done. So I just like joined and I see this huge list of like everything done, and it's just the mainly the campaign part that was left at that point. And so uh, mainly worked with Skyler on that through the mod side of things.
And that was basically deciding kind of what goes where, what modifiers to use on songs, things like that.
Yeah, Skyler did most of that. And I was there for modding support. There was some bugs that he discovered and things like that. Some little improvements to help it go better.
Oh, it looks like we might be getting a Heisenberg. Let's take a look here. Oh, he's working
please.
on it. Yeah, there he is.
Heisenberg is unironically my favorite Twitch streamer.
Perfect. Let's see.
love
So he
Heisenberg.
should be able to join our channel. Heisenberg, it is push to talk in this channel, so make sure that you have that set up.
Bomb.
Heisenbomber.
You need to change your name already.
Heisenbutt.
Heisenbutt.
Heisenberg.
I'm just gonna add a. It's gonna be. Let's see here. Hang on.
Like you know how Skyler, you know how you take inspiration from other mappers. When I was first starting mapping, I actually was taking inspiration from Heisenbaum. Oh, that is a nice.
That's
We'll
a
put
Heisenbabom.
Perfect.
We'll put that right up here by Monkey Manboy. There we go.
He had a lot of cool ideas that I liked.
He's joined the server. He's just not in. Oh, here he is. Hey, Heisenberg. Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Heisenberg.
Oh,
So we'll have
Hey,
you.
how are you guys?
We're doing well. How are you today?
I'm good. I just got home from watching Endgame. No spoilers, by the way.
No spoilers, please. Did you like it though?
Yeah, it's good. It was
Very
funny.
good. So you missed the little introduction phase. If you want to just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you like to do, whatever you feel comfortable with sharing with the stream.
Yeah. So, hello, guys. I am Heisenberg, and I'm a Beat
I
Saber
love you.
mapper. And yeah, I like to make Beat Saber maps, and I like bombs. I'm not a bomb hater. I'm a bomb lover, and yeah, I just love everything about Beat Saber.
Awesome. Well, we are glad to have you here. I want to get a little bit of your insight as well. I asked the other guys before you showed up what it was like working on this collab, working with all these other mappers. Did you find it challenging? Was there anything that you enjoyed with it? Did you learn anything from it?
Well, honestly, I can't take any credit from it because I brought in a map, but it's really Skyler is an incredible person and that is able to drive people together and really pull off a project like this. And he's gotten a lot of help from everybody, but he's really the main like driving force of this. So I'm gonna give all my credit to Skyler here.
Yeah, he's
Well,
actually done an amazing job here with this.
Here's the thing. When we first started the project and we started dropping down the initial maps, Heisenberg was one of the first ones to put a map in. And then I got to test play it. Like, we were like a week into the project when I got to play it, and I was like, hell yes. It had that really overpowering strobe lighting, and it has like Heisenberg's, like, I guess you could call it like a new mapping style where you use lots of the sideways notes to really let you like be able to spin around if you wanted to. It was everything I wanted.
So what was it like for you, Skylar? Because I think that was you that said, I love you. What was it like working with one of your Beat Saber mapping heroes when you got to work with Heisenberg?
I can't explain it to you. I was watching a Heisenberg VOD one day, and he was like critiquing an old map, but he's not like, a jerk about it. He's making it the funniest thing ever. I don't know. There's just something about his voice, his accent, the way he talks, the way he speaks. Can't explain it. The way he uses bombs. He uses it to instill fear by
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, he's come into my
It's all
stream
about fear.
several times to watch me be stressed out at a, at a map that he has just released.
It's not just Heisenberg though. I get basically the three mappers I get most of my inspiration from. Probably Benny, Heisenberg, and Ruckus. Actually, wait, I've got a fourth one. Do you guys want to take?
Joe.
Is it Sting Me?
It's not Joe.
Let's see. So maybe Rustic.
It's the last person you would.
BB Bear.
Oh yeah. No, I don't know. I think BB Bear is a little bit too crazy.
Hexagonial.
Hey, with BB Bear, you're not far off. I'll tell you.
Mystic? Mystic and BB remind me quite a bit of each other. Because they're both, like, arcade gamers. Okay, tell us. We all guessed. Kiki's.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good guess.
Okay.
Kiki's.
So when I first started mapping for Beat Saber, I reached out to a lot of the community members to like find out little specific details about how the JSON files worked, because I was trying to figure out a way to make my map stand out, and I came across Lalope.
Oh, I love Lalope. Or Lalope, however you say it.
Lalope.
A genius. Yes, yes.
Yeah, and he started getting me into like the weird stuff you can do with the maps, like the fast walls and the note jump speed, all of that.
And those Lalope notes. And he just released the auto mapper. He's been working on this robot that I think is going to take over all of the...
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts, and it's almost sentient, like the patterns, and he's been kind of refining that. So I'm really excited to see what comes from that as well.
We're out of a job, guys. That's it.
GG.
Well, actually, I did try to reach out to Lalope. We actually had an original deadline for April 14th to be exactly a month after the first song pack, the Monster Cat song pack, came out. So I kind of reached out to Lalope and I was like, hey, that auto mapper sounds really useful.
I'm surprised he's not here tonight because he's usually around. He hangs around my stream quite a bit. He's kind of been around from the start. I really enjoy his maps. He also did some really cool stuff with like some black and white notes way before like the custom color stuff has all been changed. Right when the ability to change the colors of the map and the sabers came out, he was doing some really cool stuff with that as well. Very cool. So what is everybody's favorite part of the campaign? We haven't really talked about like what you can do, but you can for chat, if you guys don't know, make sure that you download this off the mod manager after you finish listening to us talk about it tonight. There's a bunch of new custom songs in it. You can unlock all sorts of stuff, custom platforms, custom sabers. It's really, really cool. So what was y'all's favorite part of that? The sabers, the platforms? Do you have a favorite song?
I just mainly like that it wraps up a lot of parts of the like mod making community into one package.
I agree. Very good.
Yeah, it feels like it gives more visibility to modders and modelers whenever you have those like presents waiting for you.
So did Skyler pick all of the modifiers as well? So like what songs got the ghost notes and what songs, like don't hit a bomb? Was that all you as well, Skyler?
Yeah, we had to do some last minute things, and Monkey helped me out a little bit though. A lot of it was me, but I can't, take all the credit. Monkey did help me out.
So that was Monkey and Skyler, the modding dream team. So I do want to talk just a little bit about y'all's. I keep saying y'all. I'm from the South. About you guys' mapping style, and then we'll play the game that we played last time, where I'll put up a map, and all the maps that I chose this time are from the anniversary campaign. I feel like it's gonna be so easy because you guys just mapped all of these. So if you had to describe your mapping style, how would you do that? We can just start with Benny and we'll go down, and this time we'll include Heisenberg as well. So Benny, I know we've asked you this before, but tell us again. How would you describe your mapping style?
It's all about flow and comfort, and basically it's like the highest level difficulty. I'm just going for a really good workout.
Very cool. What about you, Heisenberg? Tell us a little bit about your mapping style.
So yeah, the first thing that people always think about is obviously bombs, but I actually would say that I'm like not like I don't know, I'm not like the biggest bomb user that there actually is, but when I do use bombs, I tend to go a little bit crazy with it. And but for me, I think like I was obviously very inspired by Benny back then, who tended to make a little bit better maps than me back then. I'm not gonna lie. And
Century.
yeah, and so no, but I think for me it's very much about the emotion of the song that I go for, and I try to hit that, and I try to make people feel the music in some way, like no matter like what kind of emotion it is, if it's sad, if it's scary, if it's anything. That's what I try to aim for, and any tools that I have in my disposal, I will I will use them happily. So yeah.
Has anybody played Heisenberg's map? It's an old one. Spoiler by
The
DJ.
lighting in that is brilliant.
Dude, I was on that like train for a good month. I was so happy with that map. It was
Yeah, the spoiler is actually getting remade now because it is very old, and I believe it got ruined by some of the updates that the developers did to the game, like how it worked. Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't as bad as it is now playing, because it's like not that good, and I can't really explain why, other than but now it's getting a remake, and it's gonna be pog.
When are you releasing that? Soon? Now you have to do it soon.
Well, yeah, now I'm on a timer. No, I don't know. I think in the next 14 days it'll be out. So.
Oh, that is actually really soon. Sick. Aren't you glad you brought that up, Benny? Yeah.
Yeah, guys, did you know Benny used to stream? I watched him play Spoiler. It was really fun.
Yeah, he did. I remember when Benny used to play Beat Saber.
Wait,
Now
what?
he's-
Streaming? Huh?
Now he's a busy boy. What about you, Joe? How would you describe your mapping style?
Maybe similar to what Heisenberg does, where he maps to the feel of the music. But for him, it's emotion. For me, it's more of like emphasis on stuff. So if there's like a high note in the song, I'll put like a note, like I'll make a really I'll put a note like high up. If I want to emphasize like lyrics, I'll make big swings. If there's a drum roll, I'll put like a fast scream. So I just map according to the music. I just let the music decide my mapping basically.
Let the music guide you.
Yeah. Basically I let the music guide me. So I don't really place any like placeholder notes. So I start at the start of the map and I end at the end of the map. I don't really make any notes in the middle or anywhere else.
What about you, Skyler? How would you describe your mapping style?
So my mapping style is kind of hard to explain because it's like kind of went through some revisions. At first, I kind of just like went with the flow. Didn't do placeholder notes, and I just made like really technical songs, I guess you would say, just so it's a little more difficult to cut, but it's still possible. So it's like you can make like slower songs more difficult for I guess the veteran players, right? But then I realized that I don't really enjoy making those maps anymore because when you just kind of go with the flow of the map, a lot of the times it doesn't really feel special. Like the notes don't belong to the song. Like someone else could map it, and you feel like someone else could do a better job. If you really want to nail it, I think what you got to do is you've got to think about a part of a song and what feeling really goes with that part of the song, and you just map that motion. And anything that doesn't feel insignificant, you put a placeholder note, and you just make all of those notes flow into the sections that are really important to you.
That's actually super interesting that you do it that way. Like in meaningful sections, or I recently mapped like my first map, and the way that I did it was similar to I am not a veteran like you guys at all, but I didn't know what to do at all because it was like my first map, and there was just one section of the map that I knew exactly what I wanted to do for it. I knew that I wanted it to have like a duck down on a base hit and sweep to the side, and I did that, and then I worked kind of out from that. So it's actually really interesting that you say that. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think like I couldn't tell Skyler's style a long time ago now, but now I can tell when it's a Skyler map, and that says a lot, like about a mapper, because you can easily tell when it's a Benny map, and sometimes you can tell if it's a Heisenberg map. I'm not gonna give away any clues, but like that's like a that's like a kind of a skill. If you have like if you're being able to being recognized just through your mapping, that is a skill.
Oh, I agree.
And
I think if you have an individual style, like a recognizable style, I think that that says a lot. I've actually joked a lot about wishing that we could do like a tournament where you don't know the mapper and you play a song and you have to like guess, and in
Yeah.
order, if you get it right, you get to go on to the next round, because
that's
you know
cool.
what I mean? Yeah, I think that'd be really cool, because I think that there are a lot of individual mappers that have like a very distinct style, which I think is really cool. It's kind of like writing style, or you know, any sort of artistic style. I think that that can be portrayed in mapping as well.
Heisenberg at one point did a really cool thing. He made a map that was Benny style, and it was really like he was just taking all the things that I would do and he put them
Yep.
into a map. And then I made a map in reverse for him. It was just littered with bombs. It's so annoying.
Oh my god, we just got sub-bombed in the
Yeah,
chat. Speaking
got
of, is
sub-bombed.
Heisenberg out there? Pog, thank you so much, Quizo, for the how many 20 gift stubs. Oh my goodness.
Holy
Thank
heck.
you so much. Where's my alert box? Why is it off? Oh, it's because I haven't changed. No, I have the right sounds for this one. Oh, it's because I didn't switch back and forth. There's a lot of switching things. Thank you so much. Heisenberg got a sub. You got a bunch of the mappers. People are enjoying listening to us talk. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think that's a really good time to start our first game. Are you guys all looking at chat? So what I'm going to do is, we played this with Benny last week, and he really enjoyed it, so we're going to do it again. It's called I Made This. The first one is going to be dedicated to Quiz, so you guys are going to be able to play along. I'm going to show a GIF, we can debate that later, of a song from the anniversary campaign, and then I'm going to give you guys a Twitch Picks option, and you're going to vote and see if you can figure out what song it is. There's not going to be any audio. So, we will do the first one. So it should be up for you guys, and then I will... It should let you be
So
able to
this
vote.
is one
Wait,
of
wait,
us
wait.
here that mapped it. Oh,
Nope. Okay, I thought you were gonna say this is so. If you are a mapper, don't tell chat what you think it is, because you guys have hacks. So just vote. You should be able to vote. But all of these are from the campaign. Now they may not necessarily be by somebody that's here. I was hoping that the campaign would be out earlier so that you guys would have had a chance to play them. But maybe you can see if it has your style in it. If it's one of your maps.
Yeah, I played some of the campaign earlier today with a bunch of friends, but I didn't get to play all of the maps yet. And that was actually a really cool thing. I wanted to play a particular song of the song pack, so I went into just custom songs, and I couldn't play it because I hadn't unlocked it. It was so cool, like that you had to unlock it. That was really fun.
So this is the only map that's not in the campaign, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, it was on the... Well, let's see. We'll see if you're right.
Actually, there's 2 songs that aren't in the campaign, but they're in the song pack.
That are in the pack? Okay. That makes sense. I had to also make the game before I could play the campaign. Because things were coming right down to the wire while we were planning today. You have no idea. Benny was so good at this game last time, you guys. He got every single one. I kind of want to give you a hint as well. Your objective is to get home, but after the game. Does anybody who's in the interview think that they know the map?
I could probably guess. Maybe I could guess the mapper. Maybe.
Oh, that'd be cool. We'll
I
let a
mean,
couple-
there's a chance. It could be Skyler or it could be Rustic. Like that's where I'm at right now.
Rustic only did lighting.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking at the lighting, and I'm like seeing some Rustic style here, and the lighting that kind of gives it away. I know some of the stuff that Rustic does with the sliding, and a lot of it look like the Rustic.
I'm gonna say Skyler. I feel like Ruckus has more angled notes.
I am so upset you guys did not play the Thrill map. I'm just
I did. I played it. I failed it. It was the first map that I failed during the campaign. Well, no, I failed the. Well, I guess I didn't fail it. I just messed up. I hit bombs. I did not. Instructions are hard for me. I did not read them. This is a completely split down vote. Chat does not know. The mappers don't know. You guys better be voting.
Hey, I know who it is.
Oh, you know. Yeah, you knew right away. Did you vote?
Yeah. You can vote? Where?
Oh, if you're on the stream, there should be a Twitch Picks right at the bottom. It should pop up for you.
Oh, here, okay.
Everybody's like, Joe, we don't know your maps.
Got him.
I have a message from Joetastic that I really wanted. I screenshotted that message that you sent, Joe.
Wait, what?
I want to share it, but I
Wait.
won't.
Wait, don't tell me this is expert, not expert plus.
We did everything on Expert Plus.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's a very expert. So people are thinking, they're thinking it's Millionaire. Lots of people think it's Millionaire. This was actually the one trick question. I wanted to make it harder this time because Benny got all of them. So I did pick one that nobody here had mapped. So this one's actually Alone. So this one was mapped by.
No.
Oh, it's not Alone? I guessed Alone.
Nope.
By Baxter and Sting Me.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
I guessed it right.
I think so. I'm like 90% sure. We'd have to.
I'm
Benny
about to
continues
go
his
pull
streak.
this up and.
Unless,
Oh,
if it's not, it's TH and Hammerman's fault.
I was almost positive it was Millionaire, but
I don't think we did Millionaire. Don't throw me under the bus, bud. I don't think we did that one. I don't
when
think
I
I linked
think
it
of
to.
Alone, I think of the virtual self song that's in the OST game, Angel Voices, because Sting did like a lot of that weird, like really technical stream in it that you can see from that virtual self.
So I'll put up the next one, and then I'll make I think I need to make it larger for you guys. I'll move it over. While you're looking at it, I'll make the poll.
I gotta say, I'm a little bit lost here. It's really hard.
There's
No,
bombs in
I
it.
know who exactly it is. I just gave it away. Sorry.
Don't. I can make them not visible. Results are not visible anymore. Okay.
Oh God.
They're up. Everybody vote. So it's gonna get easier. That one was the first one was a trick one because it was people that weren't here. But the rest of the options are stuff that you guys have helped map. Where chat has devolved into PP farming discussions. Vote, chat. Skyler's good at this game too.
Morik with the kappa in chat.
Marek, hi. I don't recognize that lighting. I think those lighters are it's so cool. That you know what I mean? I after I did the collab where I was mapping and doing lights with people and learning about all that, I started really trying to play with lights on, even though I'm colorblind and they're really difficult for me. Because so much effort goes into them, you guys.
Yeah, it's kind of insane how much time people actually can spend on something that most people might not recognize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I recently started spending more more time on lighting than actually mapping.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Me and Heisenberg were working on a collab before, and we found something interesting out about the track rings. So a lot of people have been like strobing them at 164, and we found out that that's actually killing a lot of people's FPS.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, what does strobing at 164 mean? Tell us, teach us.
Basically, you just hit a bunch of ring rotation effects back to back at 164 cursor per.
Oh, 1/64th. I gotcha. I was thinking 164, but I know what you mean now. Yeah, that's actually very fast.
Yeah. And it is like if you can see like a beat, like one beat is basically like between two white lines, right? So in between those two white lines are 64 notes, and that's a lot. So so that's kind of what strobing is.
That's super fast. Yeah. So this
I
one, Sky. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I actually did a little bit of research on how to. Basically, a bunch of the mappers are doing that 1/64th ring spin to get like a big spin effect. I did a little research on it, and if you do like either an odd number or an even or an odd number, depends on the previous acceleration of the ring spin, you can get that same effect without killing people's FPS.
I just
Cool.
hope we're gonna get more control over like that kind of stuff in the future than we have now. I hope it's gonna get easier to control that kind of stuff because you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. It's just a little bit too hidden and like too like weird to do.
And they recently had a bunch of updates as well to the lighting system, didn't they? How did you guys feel about that? Lighters in the chat.
So Rustic really liked it. I can tell when we were in the Discord, he was doing some of the lighting for me and Sting, and he was like eagerly sending us like streamable videos of what he was working on. And he was like, "Man, I love this new lighting." I did notice though with like each subsequent update though, it seems like the lighting gets toned down a little bit more and more every time. I don't know why they're doing it.
Yeah.
It's possible because a lot of the mappers, like in the early days, were still doing crazy stuff with lighting even back then, and it was like really sensitive to a lot of people's eyes. And now it's not as big of a deal like back then. If you wanted to strobe
Yeah.
something and not hurt someone's eyes, you would have to basically only use the the back top lasers, and everything else was painful. But nowadays, you can just pretty much spam everything.
Yeah, I'm kind of blaming the whole thing with PlayStation, and not to hate on them, but I do think that they are experiencing more limitations on the PlayStation. So and they have tried to keep the versions more in line with each other, and I think that's why we get like some nerfs on the PC.
Yeah, and Mark is saying initial reaction was a lot of people hated the changes, but now everybody likes it. What
I
was
mean,
it about?
I think the lighting is great now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's improved, but it's a little bit like some of the lights now are a little bit um, like they don't do anything, which I kind of miss. I hope like every light gets more unique in a sense as we go.
Right. Yeah. If people are like, "What are lights?" 90% of people play with them off. So we have for the voting. Skyler got this immediately. I had to hide the options because he got it right instantly. It was lighted up. Funny that we're talking about lights. This map is lighted up. How did you know that right away?
All right, so that lighted up map, we actually had Sky Kiwi playtest it right at the beginning, and I remember when he was playtesting it, he was doing a wall section, and originally Joe had a note that was a sideways note, but it was hidden right behind a down note, so you couldn't tell what direction the note was. You didn't know if it was a down note or left or right, and you told him to change it. So that's kind of how I remember from the wall sections.
And this was mapped by Joetastic, by the way. So this was a Joetastic map. I'll put up the next one. Let me delete this guy. Whoops. Okay. Oops. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that. Let me just
Jesus.
I was reading. I have.
Lights on this. What the heck?
Aren't those sick? Look at that.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've never done lighting like. Wow.
Not gonna lie, my eyes hurt looking at this.
Imagine just being inside it. Alright, I will add the poll while you guys check out those lights.
I mean, stuff like this is the reason I have my lights turned down a lot.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. I personally, for me, lights are important as they do give like another emotion to the song. So, but I can understand like why people choose not to play with it if they do have eyes that can't really handle it. So,
Yeah, I am extremely sensitive to lights. I don't like turning them on static because I still like seeing the movement, so I just have my light colors set to really dark ones so I don't see the movement as much.
so this is definitely a guy who likes strobing, and I do know one guy who likes strobing here.
Yeah, Heisenberg.
Oh,
Well, okay, maybe I know two people then.
Imagine if they added a strobing option for bombs.
God.
Alright, so who likes strobing?
I don't know how to
Right.
do it.
So this one is actually an Easter egg map. This is the only map that was created by Monkey Man.
Are you sure?
Positive.
I want to look at the lights now. While you guys vote. I actually really like too the kind of spin around in the tunnel, the way that it makes you feel in VR. That's happening here. People are like, oh, the epilepsy. Nobody ignored Clouder. We got a lot of votes for overkill. You guys can't see them. I see them.
Yeah, I actually voted overkill, but now I actually don't think it is because that would be Skyler's, and I don't recognize it now. Might have made a mistake here. Will be.
And people are they're following Heisenberg. They believe in him.
So this song, just gonna spoil a little bit. This song actually has more lighting events than Alto Paui's Overkill map, but it's about half the.
Oh
Nice.
boy.
We have 15 overkill maps now. True.
Jesus Christ, 15.
Well, a lot of them are actually duplicates.
Need more, honestly.
Like
I'll get
there's
on it.
one guy up there that's posted, I think, 3 of the same overkill map. I guess like it's a meme at this point, right? And then
Yeah.
me and Heisenberg have got 2.
Or he gave away that it's not overkill because he said it has more lighting events than overkill, but it is not as long as overkill. Hmm? OST overkill, Big Pog. Was that you who voted right away again, Skyler? I had one. The first vote that went in was correct, and so I hit it. I'm assuming it was Skyler.
Well, I see you guys are kind of trying to hide it by using that 300% maps.
The scale? Is that what you said? You cut off a little tiny bit.
Yeah, normally in the editor, I use a 200% scale to look at things, so it looks a little bit different.
I do 400, I think. What do you use, Hammer? When you're an editor? Is it 300 or 400? 300? Yeah, he got it right on the money. So this one was actually... this was a Skyler round. All of the answers here were Skyler maps. Overkill was Heisenberg and Skyler. This one was Illusion. Illusion. And I actually said it as I was I said Illusion as I was like unhiding the image, and I was like, oh god, I hope people didn't hear me say that. So I was like reading stuff to myself.
Bobby VR, I think we just became friends.
Bobby the memer.
The pre-memer of
copy pasta.
BSMG and everywhere else.
So I'll add the
Yeah,
next
that
one here
was
to the next
a
map.
tiny bit disappointing.
Another map with really cool lights as well. I keep getting distracted by the lights in the map.
So the way you know it's not my map is I will never use light speed 3, 5, 6, or 7.
Okay. Any reason for that?
I literally only use powers of 2. So 2 to the power of 0 to the power of 1. So I use 0, 1, 2, 4, 8.
Okay.
What is there a
You
reason?
cut off
What,
at 4.
but why? Tell us why. Is that just like a number thing? Do you just is it an aesthetic thing? And what does that mean? Do you want to explain that to chat a little bit? Because we have some mappers out there, but not everybody is a mapper.
So I've been kind of OCD with my maps recently. I have all of my maps, I think, except for 2 that are in the pack, have perfect 1-to-1 ratio of red to blue blocks. And I try to transfer that over to lighting as well.
Oh,
So-
wow.
So with the lighting, it's a lot easier to know what you're doing with the light speed when you're just using a handful of numbers. And when you just use those numbers, it's a very obvious effect. Like the difference between 3 and 5 isn't a lot, but 2 to 4 is doubling, right? So it just makes sense that every light increment is double of what it previous was.
Skylar is big brained.
So,
That's
so
a big
the,
win right there.
on the stat panel, when it says red-blue ratio, what does it have? 1?
So it's not always accurate if you start going like above 1,000 notes. If you actually want to know if you have perfect red to blue, like you could have one more red than a blue note and it'll still show 1. But if you like start putting down like extra red notes and extra blue notes and then you shift tab and then look at the stat panel again, then you can like be sure exactly how much.
Skylar does have big brains, I agree.
Too
Poor
big.
Sting. Too big? I know, right? I'm just like, interesting. Very cool, Kanye. Thank you. So this is another map that is up. You guys can vote as well. I know, he's super smart, right? By the way, Skylar was one of the spearheaders of all of this, of the campaign. He organized this. He got people together. He made the spreadsheets. He set up the campaign with Monkey. So we can all thank him when you guys are playing it and unlocking your sabers and your platforms. That is the guy that you want to be like, thank you, Skylar. Oh.
I think I got it wrong. I clicked too fast.
I'll share the what people are voting now. I like to keep the results hidden a little bit, just in case, because some of you guys are quick. Pretty split. Take over my mods. I'm not worthy. So we've got some people in chat thinking it's fractures, nothing's stopping me. Got 2 votes for Face My Fears. Kind of evenly split. Only one person thinking it's We Do.
I like how 3 of them are Benny choices. And if you knew how Benny did his lighting, you would know that it's a Benny map because he's got those
Oh, look how
bookmarks.
clean it is.
So this is true. It is a Benny map, and that is why I have 3 Benny choices in there, because Benny told me that if I keep them together, it makes it more difficult
I have
for
no
people.
idea which one.
Because you did these really recently, right?
Yeah, that's actually perfect.
Yeah.
I think I have it. Oh God. We'll see.
I'll let people vote a little bit more, and then I'm gonna ask you which one.
I would say I'm OCD about my lighting though. Like I just bare minimum of blocks that I can use. That's all I go for.
The
I
way
mean,
Benny
sometimes
is
the
doing it is really good, though.
And I love those drum rolls. And I just go all the way down.
I also love drum rolls. Can you do that again for us? That.
Digga.
All right. So which one did you vote for, Benny? This is your map.
Oh, I'm so wrong, but I voted for Face My Fear.
That's right. That is the map. You're still at 100% win ratio. Good job. But it was way harder, right? Because you did all these together.
Yes. Oh, that was so difficult. Yeah. Woo.
Benny's so good at this, you guys. He has never gotten one wrong. I have one more. I just have one more. My hands are freezing.
I'm sweating over here in Cali. Ugh.
And nobody. Oh God, it snowed here today and yesterday.
Oh yeah, Canada, right?
Yeah. Ugh. I mean, I love Canada, but I do not like snow. All right, I will start adding. All right, so try not to get too excited here, guys. Try not to start shouting.
So, Skyler, I totally went and looked at my maps, and out of 4 maps, I have red to blue ratio is 1.
Yeah, me
That's
and
lit.
Benny actually did a collab before, and back then a lot of my ratios were like 0.96 for blue, and then Benny shows up and puts in his parts, and then we're like 1 perfectly, and I was so excited, and I was like, man, all my maps have to be like this from now on.
Whoa.
Those upward streams, though.
Whoa.
So immediately it's not me. You've got those 10 light speeds over.
yeah, okay, we can count out Skyler here. Could be some
I don't
rustic lighting.
I don't think this is Heisenberg either.
You
I don't
guys
know if
shoulda
he goes
played
for
this
those
map.
streams. You don't stream like that, Heising.
No? You think you know me?
Bitch, I know you. Where's the bombs?
You know,
true.
well, Skylar was saying that his like map is like the only map that has no bombs in the campaign. Is the Heisenberg map, which is like blasphemous.
Jeez, those are some trick. I couldn't even do these streams. Okay, there's got to be somebody who knows.
Yeah, they have like those weird triplets that can really mess with you.
Oh, triplets though.
If you actually play the map, it works out really well because the crossovers get you to swing just wide enough to where you like forget that it's a crossover, or you forget that it's a trap.
Yeah.
I have played this map. I played it for my viewers earlier.
It's
So,
actually
like, it
not.
almost has some rustic, or not, some rockets, sorry. I almost mess those 2 guys up. They get mad about it.
I know, I do the
Dang.
same thing. I do it with
It's so
Rustic
bad.
and Ruckus, and I do it with Pug and Pud all of the time.
Yeah.
There's a
So in
putt.
the early-
Yeah, pudding.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, Skylar.
No, you're good. I just want to share a story. So when we first made the Discord to put the anniversary, we were kind of just goofing around at the beginning, not really doing the maps, and I guess we just all thought it would be really funny if all of us changed our name to Rustic, and it was kind of hard to tell who was who. You would go down in the chat and it would say Rustic, and Rustic are typing.
Several Rustics are typing.
Everybody's rustic.
And did I have this? I'll share results. A lot of people in chat think this is Thrill. The Thrill, sorry. I'm Rustic. Rustic is legend. And did you say Rustic did all the lights this time? Or Ruckus?
Alright, so we had 2 dedicated lighters. We had Rustic and we had Rex. Neither of them did mapping for any of the maps. They didn't do all the lighting. I think Rex did a grand total of... He technically did 3 maps, but the third one wouldn't be ready in time to meet the anniversary date today. So that one got kind of axed. I think Rustic, he did 1 for me, and I think he did 2 or 3 for Sting.
So this one is, what do you guys think in chat, in channel, before I tell you guys which one it is? Anybody have, I think Skyler knows it.
I guess Thrill.
So we got 1 for Thrill.
I have no idea.
It's because you didn't map it. But he only knows it if he lays the notes down, he remembers it. He remembers every note he has laid down in his entire life. But if it's not his, he doesn't.
It's like the feeling of playing it. I can look at it and see the feeling, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this feeling, and then the song will come back to me too.
Tower of Heaven. Yeah, Quiso, he got every single... We interviewed Benny last week, and we did all Benny songs, and he got every single one of them, correct? What did you put, Skyler? What do you think it is?
Can't give it away.
I'm about to tell him.
Okay, it's the Thrill.
It is the Thrill. This was the one that you had me play right before I stopped, and it's actually a lot of fun. I think I failed it, right?
Yeah, it looks super hard at first, and it is pretty hard to be honest, because the streams are super complex and they're not really like anything that we usually see. But because it's all right-hand dominant throughout the entire stream, it's kind of predictable in that sense. Not saying that's what makes it easy, but it makes it doable.
And a lot of the streams look stranger than they are because they're like diagonal, but they're all, if you just trust the mapper, right? You hear that all the time, trust the mapper, and you just do the up and down. They're very, very, very doable.
Who mapped it?
That was mapped by Ruckus.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it had some Ruckus shenanigans in there.
I think you
does
said the
some,
right.
He really likes those streams that kind of end upwards and like on the top rows, and they're really fun to do.
I consider Ruckus to be chaotic neutral.
I was thinking about that earlier with Benny. I would put Benny as chaotic good because he said he brought chaos when he joined the Discord at the end. But I think you're still chaotic good.
Chaotic good?
Yeah.
Not what's
Lawful?
What is it? Lawful good?
No, not if you bring chaos. That was your words, not mine.
I don't bring chaos. It was a joke. I'm a bad liar.
Oh, okay.
I'd love to see mappers listed out in the chaotic things.
Well, there's chaotic good, lawful good, and then chaotic
Heisenberg
lawful
would
and
be
neutral.
chaotic evil, or
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Wait, did you read my mapping guide, Benny?
no.
Because literally at the end of the mapping guide, I have all of the mappers listed, like all the top mappers, and they're like in a chart that says chaotic good, neutral.
I gotta see it.
I need this. Also, Sting wants to know what you would consider him, Skylar. Where did you put him?
All right, first of all, Sting, I need an answer from you. Do you want me to call you Sting or do you want me to call you
You cut out.
You cut out, yeah.
No.
Sting
I
or
used to know a Gavin in high school, and he was really annoying, so I don't know if I can call you.
Oh, Sting or Gavin, I think is what he was gonna say. I thought it was gonna be a question for him that would like determine whether or not he would be what he would be on the square, where he would fall, what his alignment would be.
I think I have Sting listed as true neutral.
True neutral. What about Joe? What would you put Joe at?
I think he's lawful neutral.
Nice.
Oh, thanks for the bits. So he says you can call him Sting, not Gavin. What about Monkey? What would Monkey be considered?
Not on the chart because I don't map.
Well,
He's
we
not
have
on the chart, but
we have to give you an alignment now. We can't leave you out.
I'd say he's probably neutral good.
Neutral good. Even though he's a coder.
That's the most evil thing you can do.
Every coder is evil.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm neutral good? Oh, interesting.
Oh, there. So you're looking at the chart? That's amazing. What about Clouder? Can we give Clouder an alignment? Clouder is lawful good.
There was an alignment for the Beat Saber mining group staff before. I don't remember where it was though.
Coding is the witch's work. I always play chaotic good in D&D. Like all of my characters are chaotic good alignment. But I don't know what I would actually be in real life. So, just a couple, I've got a couple more questions. Sorry, we've already been here for an hour because the time just flies by. Lawful good. Mega was lawful good. What do you guys think the future holds for you guys as mappers, as modders, just in the community in general? Where do you think Beat Saber is going to go? We can go down the Discord order again. We'll start with Benny. Do you see a future with Beat Saber?
A future with Beat Saber?
Yeah, where do you think it's going? It's been a year, right? Which is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's just gonna keep going. More maps, more campaigns, more songs. And then I mean, it's by far for me the best VR game that I've played, and I think it's gonna hold that title for a while, actually. So I'm excited.
What about you, Heisenberg? Same? What do you think's gonna...
Yeah. For me personally, I just hope that I'm at a point now where I can make maps more efficiently than before, and that is mostly down to squeezies and how much work is put into mediocre mapper. Like we're able to make maps so much more efficiently. So I hope that for me personally, I just hope for more improvements in terms of making maps, more creativity. For Beat Saber, I feel like and this is gonna be maybe a little bit salty, but I do feel like they do need to step it up in terms of official content. I think that they have been kind of slacking on it, and I do think that they need to up their game in terms of what they are putting out. They might be working a lot behind the scenes, and I know they're great designers and coders, but they do need to give more face value to the game. So I hope that and please improve the campaign that is in the game right now. Like it is like not good. It is not good. They need more. They need more help from the outside stuff. And I just hope that the whole thing with acquiring songs for Beat Saber will be way more efficient. I know that it's a troubled business that they're in. The musical business is it's not a fun place to be when it comes to this kind of licensing. But they need all the help they can get with that kind of stuff, because what is gonna kill the game is not having official content come out at a pretty steady pace. So yeah.
I think that's a fair assessment. I think it's fair criticism as well. Also, no, Fusion, it's not too late. I didn't realize that was your Twitch name. Get into Discord and we'll pull you in. I'll give you the role. And I think that was actually a really, really constructive criticism, which somebody had mentioned earlier you're quite good at. Skyler had said that was one of the things that he really liked about you. So I think that constructive feedback is important for the game to get better, right?
Yeah, for sure. And also, I also hope for the game that people will realize that when they come out with an update, bots will break, because I feel so bad for the devs each time they do an update, and the hell just breaks loose. I'm like, come on, guys, can you just accept it for a couple of days? Like,
Yeah, I think
I
Beat
hope.
Saber was the highest rated map on Steam, like of all time, for quite some time until they updated it, and then it got review bombed because mods were gone.
Yeah. So I really hope for the community side, I really hope that they also give devs the opportunity to open up the game and break it, because that's what Beat Saber is also gonna need. It's gonna need for the devs not to be afraid to update the game, because I, I can't tell, but I feel like there's a little bit of um, hate love relationship going on right now between like the two, and I just hope that people will accept that the devs do need to break the game in order to make it better.
Agreed. So if we did get Fusion, just showed up a little bit late. He was at work. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. This channel is Push to Talk.
Yep.
Hi. How are you? Do you want to tell stream a little bit about yourself and what you did on the project? We're kind of wrapping things up now. We're about to take some questions from chat as well, but I want you to introduce yourself and tell everybody what you did.
Hello, I'm Fusion, also known as Course Gaming. I made a lot of the chaotic sabers in the community, and I made, I think, sabers that got in were the um, Blade of Broken Timelines, Skeleton Arms, and I forgot the last one.
So you're a modeler. Is that like what your title would
Yeah.
be? Very cool. Did you enjoy working on the project with so many people? Were there any challenges with that?
My one challenge, it was, the name was the Fused Rose. The one challenge, the particles, I couldn't get them to go in a specific direction.
And how long were you working on this project?
The Fused Rose took probably like a day. It was really,
Like 8 hours of work, like a whole day, or like?
yeah, like 8 hours,
Oh my goodness.
because I thought the model was corrupted, but apparently for some reason my Beat Saber, it just won't load specific sabers after a certain amount of sabers are in the folder.
People are commenting on Crescent Rose.
Yeah.
That's their favorite saber. Yeah. Very
Yeah, it's
cool.
my favorite saber.
Joe's favorite saber.
Yay.
Actually, I think Joe's blah map unlocks that saber.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's what I heard.
So yeah, Fusion helped design some of the sabers and stuff that you guys will be unlocking by completing the campaign today. So make sure that you guys check that out. What about you, Fusion? What do you see in the future of Beat Saber?
I definitely think there's gonna be a lot more mappers coming into the scene and stuff, and probably more saber modelers, and like we're gonna be getting a lot more newer and better content, and like improvisations and ways to do things better and not more.
More automated stuff. What about you, Joe?
That's it.
What do you think the future for Beat Saber holds? Are you still going to be mapping? Putting out more and more maps?
Yeah, I'll probably still be mapping, but not for long though. I'll have to go and serve my nation a few more months. But for Beat Saber on PC, I think it'll survive quite long because of the modding community. There's always like 20 to 30 maps being released each day. Like you can't possibly play all of them. So there's always new content being released. But kind of same thing with what Heisenberg said. There needs to be more like official content coming out. Cause for people like in PSVR, they don't have much maps and they don't really have the option of modding. So I don't think the game can survive long on PSVR. But there's so much like new and good mappers right now. I feel like maybe they can get more like official mappers, and then they can pump out more like DLC maps for PSVR as well.
Chat says, of the 30 maps that are released each day, 15 of those are Joe's.
It's kind of an over exaggeration.
Alright, do you guys want to take a couple of questions from chat? Do you guys have any questions for our friends here? 100% true, Heisenberg says. Also, Skyler, what do you see in the future of Beat Saber?
All right, so Heisenberg was kind of talking about where Beat Saber should go in the future. And while it is a really good game in its current state, probably one of the top 10 VR games for sure. It just needs more base game content. A lot of the times, the custom app content is good enough to carry the PC community. Like even people are streaming Beat Saber every day, and they're doing it 5 days out of the week. So obviously there's enough content for them, but especially on the PSVR and even the PC to an extent, because we don't get a lot of mappers who map the lower difficulties, right? So we need more content in that arena. And even if they do have the songs, they're still not really like they're not an experience where you feel like you grow in a skill sense, but you feel like you're not getting anything besides skill, which is great in essence. But I think games like Guitar Hero really struck that really good balance where you feel like you're getting good at the game, but you're also getting rewarded at the same time. You unlock more songs, more characters, you play at different arenas. There's like a story element to it, right? And I was kind of hoping to emulate that a little bit in our campaign. I was pitching ideas when I learned that we could get a custom campaign in the pack that, hey, it'd be really cool to unlock, custom sabers and platforms and extra songs. So I think if they did something like a story mode for Beat Saber, maybe even change up the environments more, like maybe there's moving objects in the distance besides just the rings rotating, right? Like maybe there's a crowd that you play in front of. Like that would be really awesome. Like if you've ever played Audica is a
Mhm.
really fun rhythm game, and the way that it's you know way above Beat Saber is in that atmosphere when you first get in the game. Like you feel like you're in Ready Player One or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, somebody said Jedi story mode confirmed, and that is kind of one of the questions that somebody asked. Do you ever plan on dabbling with Unity for stages for your charts, which would kind of be cool with that particular idea? Having more immersive environments and things like that for more of a story mode. Would that be something that you guys would think would be possible, that you would think would be fun?
So fun thing, I actually was working on some custom platforms for this. One of them didn't make it into the final game. Only one made it in. So the original plan was to have a boss battle at the end of the game. There's going to be like a giant disembodied head, and it was going to react to you hitting the blocks. Like if you hit the blocks, you would like damage it, and it wouldn't really do anything because we didn't have any plans for like implementing a health mechanic or anything because that was just too complicated. So I was like, maybe I could just play with the lighting events, and it'll react. Like maybe the head will spin if I hit the ring rotation effect, but it well, I was basically alone doing that by myself, and I had to learn Unity. So we only had time to do one platform really, and it's right at the end of the campaign. There's like a credit screen that plays during the final song. Like if you've ever played Guitar Hero 3, right at the end, there's credits that roll while you're
Mm-hmm,
playing
mm-hmm.
through the fire and the flames. So I kind of try to mimic that a little bit with what little knowledge I had of Unity.
Dude, that would be so sick, actually. Like a boss fight or even if you like hit a whatever combo, a 100 combo, it like spins around. However, you could make that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got the foundation for it, but I don't think it was good enough to make it into the final campaign, so I just kind of, it's sitting on my desktop. Maybe some person who
We've
makes
got
the platforms can
we've
help
got
us in the
somebody
future.
who's pretty. I know somebody who's pretty versed in Unity. He's screaming in chat that he wants to help make it happen. I have another question from chat. How do you guys all feel about PP and ranked songs? Any feelings positive? This can go for anybody in the channel.
I avoid it like the plague.
No PP for Benny Heisenberg.
I all like I'm not gonna get too much into it because I think it can like become a really big discussion. But I will say that right now ranked is focused a lot on the top end, and that is if top end wants to involve the community, they need to think outside their own bubble. They need to involve more people, and they need to think about how can we get more people into what we love, which is to play ranked. And I'm uh, I have a bunch of ideas, but there is an issue where people in that community will, they like how it is now, and that's fine. But I'm not gonna get into it. Well, I have no interest in how the system is now, but I would like to kind of get into it. But it has to be different.
you, you know what I wish? I wish that there was a ladder so that you had to play people, and you could play any song you wanted, but you
Yeah.
had to beat
So
the other people to get.
so there's I can't remember his name right now, but there's like the Versus mod. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but it's in development right now by Nate, I believe. And that's actually a really cool mod. Basically, what it does is it takes anyone who has the mod, it can generate playlists against your friends on Steam, and then you can see and you can try and beat your friends on it. And that's a really cool mod and something that I enjoy. It's like friendly competition in a way, and I hope something like that could be implemented into ranked and somehow.
I also think
Is
it's
that-
kind of
is that
funny
cool?
how people are so careful when they start to talk about PP, and I think that one of the reasons that we feel that way is because people are very passionate about the game and about the ranking system, and you know they work on it. It's all volunteer based, and so it is a passion that's kind of behind that, and it can be a little bit scary to have those conversations when people care so much about this stuff. So I think it's really funny that Heisenberg brought that up. But I agree, there is a lot of issues with it, and they are working on it, obviously. Also, if you're in chat, remember that the PPE system and all that, that's all public. So if you have ideas and suggestions, join and share it and see if you can get things changed. I think the Versus mod is actually really, really cool as well.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea.
I also think it'd be really cool if this is something that I've mentioned as well to a couple of ranking members. If in order for a song to be ranked, it has to have more than one difficulty. It can't just have expert plus plus plus. It has to.
Oh,
and-
believe me, we push for that.
Yeah,
it's
I
something
think-
we want. The main thing is like, especially now, because the PP system needs a lot of work. Everyone is aware of that, but Umber's really cut on time to do anything. But a lot of the people that push their maps for rank and want mods and want to get rank only map the hardest difficulties. So,
well, and it's like in Osu, you know, it has to have more than one. I mean, it didn't at first, but if they want their map ranked, then they have to submit, you know, a hard and an expert as well as an expert plus plus plus.
yeah, it's for sure something we want of, and we're probably going to push it more in the future, I'd assume, because everyone wants that.
And I think that it would include, obviously, a lot more of the player base, because most of the players just don't play at that level. And I think if we want to look at the health of playing ranked and things like that, we kind of have to look at the whole community. But again, it's a huge issue. We could talk about PP for like an hour probably.
Please
maybe
no.
next time.
Oh, and Bobby is saying Squeaksies is actually working on a program to create lower difficulties of songs based on higher difficulties automatically.
Yeah,
Also,
that's really cool.
That's really cool, yeah.
if
One of the
anyone,
Sorry, go ahead.
if anyone was wondering, yes, I'm still using the Oculus version
The Oculus, wait, what?
for Beat Saber. I've never went back to Steam, and I'm just gonna buy it now, so I don't have to.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what? Oh, because of the ranking system. Gotcha. See you later, Mitchell. Thanks for hanging out. BloqTalk is now PP Talk. Hey, we were doing questions from the audience. It's a big part, especially as a mapper, because I feel like there's a lot of pressure on mappers to kind of map if they, you know, there is a lot of pressure with the PP system. So, I mean, it is a question that comes up when you're talking to mappers pretty often.
Yeah, you need to map it in a certain way for PP.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because I mean, like they've done a lot of work to try and make some ground rules for ranked, but some of it is just, you know, I can look at maps and I can be like, how is that ranked and liked in the ranked community when there's so much other stuff that is gonna, you know, get way more people involved. Like, I like hard stuff. I'm not a hater of like hard maps, but I do think that there is a tendency in the ranked community of how far can we push it, and that's good. You should see, like, that's what humanity is all about. It's pushing the limits, but if you want something to be like broadened, you need to, like, obviously get more people involved, and that's not by only aiming at the top 1%.
Agreed. Very important. Let's see. Oh, we had a couple other questions. Somebody wants to know, Joe, what's your biggest motivation for mapping at the pace that you map?
Yeah, so when I originally started mapping, it's mainly because there wasn't a lot of Ruby songs in the game. There was only 3, if I'm not wrong. So I wanted like more Ruby songs. So I decided to learn mapping just so I can see more songs I wanted inside the game. And eventually, I have a list of like 600 songs in my playlist, in my personal playlist. So it's quite a lot of songs I want to map. And yeah, it's mostly anime and Japanese songs.
They said Joe is true MVP. Yeah, exactly. If you want to see a song in the game, put it in, right? Like that is why Joe started doing it. All right, in terms of mapping, what added features would you guys want to be added to make maps more fun and interesting? Do you guys have any ideas for that?
So Synth Riders has those kind of I don't know how to describe them, but rails kind of mechanic.
Yeah, like a sustain note.
Yeah, and I know Sky Kiwi has talked about it, and he's tested it out, and he says that it doesn't really work for Beat Saber. But I really think that that could be an added mechanic that could add some kind of emotion that hitting a block sometimes can't. I'm just not sure that with the limitations that Beat Saber has, that it would work.
But and we kind of try and do something similar with sliders and stuff, right? And it does feel really good for certain sounds and in certain songs.
Yeah, because obviously, like I'm a huge lover of synthwave, and synthwave is tough to map in Beat Saber because it's a lot on like it's more the focus on beat and on melodies, and synth is more about like extended sounds and cool sounds, and you can't really express it in Beat Saber as well. So I was hoping for some kind of mechanic
there
like
are that. We do walls and bombs and stuff like that do kind of accent it, but it's just not nearly as immersive as actually doing a motion, right? I agree.
I agree.
I think you could get it to work pretty easy. I was experimenting with the idea of like sustain notes for a while. If you look at a lot of the early like alpha footage of Beat Saber, you'll see like a lot of the players will stick their sabers in the wall, and it doesn't really make sense why they do that other than it looks cool. But maybe there's like certain types of walls in the game that are colored differently that you're supposed to stick your sabers in.
Yeah, somebody just said that. Yeah, actually said if there was like a different colored wall and that meant like you had to just hold your saber in it. That's actually kind of a really cool idea.
I got a little funny. Have a map. You can go.
Okay, I got a little fun story about that because when I made Centuries, and I don't know if like how many people here know Centuries, but it has a good significant amount of bombs. Yeah, something around that number.
2,638.
Roger that. And I made it really early on, and it was like I was like everyone's gonna love this because everyone will understand my idea completely. And obviously, that didn't came true quite because it forces like hold positions, and not a lot of people could like understand that at that time. But I wish that I would have some kind of mechanic where I could make people hold the sabers in specific positions without having to place 2,000. How many bombs was it?
I'm almost positive it's 2,638.
Roger. There we go.
So yeah, big brain boy here.
So funny thing, I actually had the same idea as Heisenberg. It just came a lot later. I have a map on my Beat Saber right now called No More Sorrow, and I basically took Heisenberg's idea and I did it with walls instead, like from the early footage of Beat Saber. So all of the notes, instead of like coming from the center of the play space, they're coming from the outside where the walls are at. So you're supposed to hold your sabers in the wall like you're grinding them, but then you're supposed to slash outward when the note approaches you. So that was like my interpretation of what Heisenberg was trying to do.
Yeah, I really like No More Sorrow. I think it's a really cool like aesthetic map.
And then they pushed out the update that killed the zero width walls.
Yeah, that was so sad.
Literally like 2 weeks later. We also had Raynor, who I think were you sleeping? Showed up a little bit late here. But Raynor did help with the project. He was a modeler. You did some modeling for this as well. Did you want to say hi to everybody? I'm about to ask kind of. Hi. Okay, that was very loud. I will turn you down a little bit. We didn't get to sound check him either.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
There you go. Cool, okay. We didn't get to sound check him because he was sleeping, but he did help out with the project as well. We've already been here for about an hour and a half, though. See, I told you guys, like, time just kind of flies by when you get to hang out and talk. So I was going to kind of just wrap everything up by asking what I asked at the end of the last stream. We went through stream questions, but if you guys had any advice for new mappers out there or people that are new to Beat Saber, what would that be? And we'll go down again, kind of down the Discord list. We'll start with Benny. Any advice for new mappers out there, new people to Beat Saber, new people to modding?
I was trying to speak without push to talk.
Hi, welcome back.
Yeah, so echoing what I said last time, I believe I said to follow your heart, however cheesy that may be.
And what you mean by that is, yeah, there you go.
Do it for fun. Like, do what makes you happy, what you enjoy, and then share that, because your fun will be, instilled into whatever it is you're making.
Exactly. So don't worry about the rules. Don't worry about if people are gonna play it for rank. Make what you enjoy, and maybe people can switch the paradigm a little bit around, what's out there. Fusion, for people that are getting into modeling and things like that, any advice for people to getting started?
Whenever you have an idea, just do it. I've had my fair share of god awful sabers and platforms. I know overclocked hard drives exists. And my Spaghetti Cat platform. They're both terrible, but I had fun making it, and I know there's some people that like them.
I mean, I feel like everybody knows Spaghetti Cat just because isn't that what Logan uses? Yeah. Or is it? Oh my goodness, that's a monstrosity. But I mean, there's a place. There is a place for those. They're important.
Yeah, and then don't if someone doesn't like your stuff, just kind of ignore it. Just put it out. Even and I've learned from my errors.
Yeah, see, Spaghetti Cat is great. People are great. What about you, Heisenberg? Any advice for new mappers, people that are just getting started?
So yeah, just accept that your first map that you make is probably gonna suck, and people are gonna hate it, and then take that failure and put it in, make it successful. And the only way you make successful is by failing over and over and over until you're at a point where you stop failing and you start succeeding. I was not talented mapper. I would say, I did have it I had to make a lot of maps before it started to kind of click with me. So that's the reason why there exist 2 Uptown Funks, by the way. I don't know if you know this, Benny. Should we tell that story?
Yeah, tell it.
Okay, so yeah, I think Uptown Funk is my second or my third map, and yeah, so I so I made that map, and nobody else had made that map at that point. And then I think 14 days go by or something like that, and all of a sudden I see I at that point I was really oh, do people like the map, and how many upvotes does it get, and how many downloads? I was really interested in seeing that kind of stuff. And then I look it up on Beat Saber, and some guy called Bennydabeast has uploaded an Uptown Funk after me. How dare he? How does this guy dare to upload a map that has already been made? So I'm really frustrated at this point. And so yeah, I go randomly onto Twitch as I usually do to get my maps tested out. And then there's a guy called Bennydabeast streaming, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? It's the guy who dared mapping my song. How dare he? So yeah, I go into the stream, and then obviously I find out that Benny's actually a pretty cool guy, and we've had such a big laugh about that whole thing. That's how I got to know Benny. That's through hating on him for daring to make a better version of my song.
So that was the real problem. Here comes the truth. It was a better version of Uptown. It's not that he remapped it. It was that it was better.
I'm pretty sure his map still has more downloads than mine.
Yeah, I'm actually considering removing it, because I feel like if a new player downloads that, they're gonna be like, "What the hell? I'm getting out of this game." So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. if I
Oh
delete
my
it.
goodness.
I
What
love
about-
how your
And then we
story is
became
like
best
trying to kill
friends.
him at first.
Yeah, there were arch nemesis. Nemesis?
Yeah.
My quote.
Heisenberg came in with guns. He was like Benny the Beast, more like
You cut out right at the punchline again.
No.
Oh no.
My quote is FBI open up.
Oh my gosh.
we got
Okay,
him.
Joe, what about you? Any advice for new mappers out there, people just getting started?
Yeah, so when I first started out mapping, all my first 5 maps were like heavily downvoted. I think one of them had like 0 likes and 20 dislikes. And looking back at it now, if I were to tell myself as a new mapper, I'll I'll say work on like slower songs, like songs with an easier beat to follow. Because my first few maps were like too difficult for a new mapper to map. Like there were too many layers, too many instruments. So I'll say go for something easier at the start.
That's some good advice. Start with something that's maybe not too complex, something that is a little bit on the easy side to get started. Because there is a lot to mapping. The first song I mapped was like Flying in the Flow of Deep Sea by Camellia, and it was very, very difficult. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. What about you, Monkey? Any advice for people just getting started modding, helping out with things like coding, and especially in like a VR game setting?
You know, with more than like programming other things, programming something for VR, you just kind of gotta goof around with it sometimes. You just gotta make things happen on the screen. Because a lot of the time, especially with things like the um, most modders will agree with me here on the UI and Beat Saber, it's a bit hard to manage, and you just gotta goof around, see what happens.
Especially in like this I guess this realm, it's also new, right? Like the game is new, the mods are new, the community is so new. I mean, it's a year old now. You just kind of have to make your own way as well.
Yeah, for sure, and don't be upset when things change also, because it's new. So many mod refactors because they changed part of the game.
True. That is very important. Don't freak out when there's an update. What about you, Raynor? I think I turned you down. Let's test. Any advice for... Okay, better. Any,
Okay, right now? Okay, got it.
yeah. Any advice for new modders?
Apparently, I mean, like, you have to learn the basic. Please learn the basic because, like, every time we got question on the modeling channel, it's some weird question that people don't really learn their tools and they don't even look into like the matter they're doing, like the thing that they are trying to do. They never explain it clearly. So I got pissed off all the time because like people asking weird questions. And then secondly, find out what you're good at and make sure you like it and then just go for it. It doesn't matter if you are doing like mapping or modeling or modding. If you're good at it and you like it, you should go for it. And thirdly, make a lot of stuff because if you do a lot, your name will get pushed up. People will know you. And yeah, like start from the basic, make it good, love it, and make more. I think.
I think that's really good advice. So I was messing with sound a little bit. So Chad, if you guys missed any of that, he said, start with what you like and make a lot of it. Don't get discouraged if people don't like your stuff. Just keep putting stuff out there. Find something that you're good at. Find out what you love, and then just keep producing. And then you'll grow and grow.
I mean, like a lot of people. I think a lot of people doesn't like. They don't like me for like what I do, but I make enough stuff, so they like my stuff, I think.
And I mean, Joe said some of his favorite sabers are yours. So, or wait, no, that was
Who's
actually
Joe's?
no, that was Fusion. Sorry, two modelers now.
Okay.
Two modelers. What is your favorite thing that you have released, so that we know some of your stuff?
My favorite thing, I think it should. I mean, like my first one that I really like. Let's see. Oh, Genji Dragonblade because like at that time I don't see anything that is well okay looking with the right effect on it. everything is symmetrical, so I decided to make like the katana and the dagger like a different size, so it kind of reflect the real thing better. And the second one should be, let's see, the body pillow, like the Japanese anime hugging pillow thing.
Wait, there's a body pillow saber. You're telling me this
Yes,
Link me.
I will. I
this
will.
is news to me.
I did make a body pillow that when you hit it, the like feather popping out, and then like it is like flopping all over the place. Well, it's not as bad as the central one, but well, it looks weird, but okay.
We spent
Who
all
made-
this time making the campaign when we could have been using the body.
Yeah, exactly. See?
I just want to know who made the chicken, like the chicken sound sabers.
That was me.
That was you. I
Of
want
course,
to
of course.
personally thank you, sir, for that.
Haha.
That
Yes.
has brought me many hours of entertainment.
See? So there you go. Raynor said a lot of people hate his stuff, and then 2 people in the chat thank you for making the chicken sabers and the body pillow. And I feel like chat is downloading the body pillow sabers right now. So
Yeah, that thing is way over, like, I don't know, somewhere in the list, so I don't think you can find it. I uploaded it again.
Yes. You've also saved a lot of my sabers. Thank you
Who, me? Why?
for help in the models chat.
What? I don't think I did anything like.
I think you have at least once or twice, and they've saved.
We'll see about that. I mean, like, my brain is horrible.
Hey, what about you, Skyler? Any advice for new mappers out there?
All right, it's easy. HTTP Ultimate Beat Saber Mapping Guide.
You should link that to me. I will. You can link it in chat as well.
Ultimate.
I do have some actual advice though.
Can you link it to me, Heisenberg?
Benny and Joe and Heisenberg kind of already nailed it on the head for beginners, I guess. So if you're like a more advanced mapper, maybe not like Benny level yet, I think it's really important that you're going to get to a point when a lot of people are going to give you advice about saying make notes flow and, like follow these rules, always do right hand starts, never do vision blocks and stuff like that. And while that is true to some extent, you have to break a little bit of the rules. While you should focus on flow, I think it's super important to first and foremost find a feeling of the song, map all the stuff, like go through the song and put in all your double notes where you think something important is happening, and then make it flow from there. Make everything fit within the important parts of the song.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. It's actually something that I didn't tend to do earlier, but I actually started doing it now, because it's for me it's really important to get like that feel down and finding those like iconic moments that are gonna make people remember that is your song, and that is that song that made me feel exactly that way. You do need to make some iconic moves somehow and make your map special.
Yeah, like Benny's Uptown Funk, he's got that crouch wall, but it's
Oh
only
God,
on
not
the
again.
sides of the map, and you just kind of like, okay, it may seem stupid, but when you watch Benny play it, he makes it look really cool, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Heisenberg's
that's
rage
iconic.
is rising as he thinks about Uptown Funk. Also, somebody mentioned Under the Sea, Under the Sea as well. That's a really good example of just new stuff. Like using the walls, going under into the walls, like you're going under the sea.
If you really like that wall stuff, you guys got to play the new Overkill map that's in the campaign song.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff there.
And there's the mapping guide that Skyler was talking about for all you new mappers, people getting into that. You can check that out there. And also, I just wanted to thank you guys, because in chat, this is important. Make sure that you thank your mappers. If you see them in your channel and they're requesting that you test a song, take the time to thank them for what they're doing. They have given us so many hours of enjoyment. Like, what would we be doing without the modders and the modelers and the people making the platforms and finding new things and innovative ways to use the game and use the environments. It means a lot to me personally. I know I've spent hundreds of hours playing the stuff that you guys produce. So make sure that you say thank you. So thank you so much for making the campaign, for working together, for releasing all these maps, for talking to us tonight, sharing your insight. We appreciate you guys.
Bobivia, if that is your name, I have a $10 $10 headset from a random 7-Eleven in Taiwan. If you are,
that is a-okay. Don't worry about it. We got you all taken care of. So we will kind of wrap this up. Bobby's like, well, but yeah. So make sure you thank your mappers. That's very importante. Who do you guys want to go say hi to? Who's rating? Does anybody have anybody? We'll ask chat, and I will go ahead and mute and deafen while we figure that out really quick, and then I'll just talk to you guys really quick after I send them over. This might be loud. I posted that. Sorry if it is. I'll leave that up for a little bit.
Also, thank you, Ashley.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And Clouder.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate
I
it.
need food now.
Yay!
Thanks, guys, for interviewing.
Of course.
I can't wait for all of the individual mappers and other people, but I can't wait for the other mapper games.
What do you mean? You're coming back every single week, Benny. That's
You're our new host. Come on.
Right. Forget.
Benny the host. Yeah,
Benny the host. Yeah, next week I have a Mystic scheduled. He was super sweet about tonight. I had him all scheduled, and then the anniversary thing got dropped, and I moved him all around and scheduled all you guys. And so yeah, these guys showed up with like absolutely no freaking notice. Like, we planned this in like 24 hours. So thank you guys so much for making the time to be here, because I know that I didn't give you any notice whatsoever. So I apologize for that, but I had a lot of fun. This time it was 2 hours. It just freaking, it's like that, right? When I first started doing this, I was like, okay, I plan on doing about 30 minutes to an hour, because I was worried that we wouldn't be able to talk for longer than that. I was worried it'd be really forced, but it's actually so much fun, and I learned so much from you guys. It's really, really cool. So yeah, make sure you guys check out the campaign. It is available on the mod installer now, correct? It's up, it's live.
Yep, all up.
Play that.
Should be.
You just get the mod installer, and then you go through the whole thing.
Yeah, the campaign is available there.
Comes
for
with the
download.
custom campaigns mod.
I
Yep.
promise there's no virus on my Saber.
No virus on the server.
Pinky
He put some
promise, no
Easter eggs
viruses.
in his. There is
I
an
promise.
Easter egg in his saber. If you can find it, make a video of it, please. And I'll.
No, I mean, like, don't find it yet. We're never.
So yeah, we were hanging out with today we were hanging out with Bennydabeast, Fusion, Heisenberg, Joetastic, my co-host Clouder, monkeymanboy, Sir Raynor, and Skyler Wallace, a bunch of the masterminds behind the anniversary campaign, which was released today. Super cool stuff. You guys can get custom sabers, custom platforms. There's a bunch of new maps in there from all these guys. A bunch of other mappers as well that they weren't able to be here today because, again, very short notice. But there is some work on there by Ruckus. Why won't my tab come up? Let's see. Sting Me. Oh yeah, let me read you guys the message from Sting Me before we go raid somebody as well. He was not able to be here tonight, but he did send me a message that he wanted to share with stream and with Skyler. He said when he first started mapping, he never imagined that he'd be close to the level of Rustic, Yazer, or Benny. So to be able to work alongside them to bring something that I think the community will really enjoy was very humbling. I've learned a lot just by pushing myself to make each map that I contributed to be the best version of it that I could make it. It was such a blast making these maps, as well as collaborating with some of the most creative and talented mappers out there. I can't thank all of the community enough for believing in me and pushing me to do my best by supporting my maps and giving me feedback. I love you all and can't wait for the future. So I thought that was really nice. Yeah.
Aww.
So Sting Me was also a mapper, as well as Great Yazer participated in this. Ruckus, Downy Cat, Fafurian, and Baxter. So a bunch of people participated in this. So go download it. Play it. It's a lot of fun. I need to finish it. I got pretty far. Who did you guys want to go say hi to? Alright guys, I'm going to mute and deafen and figure out who we're going to raid. Thanks again. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be right back.
Cool.